It's already recording, but I got a cough. All right. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Enter the Scottyverse. Today, I want to call you a friend, but you're not technically a friend because we've never actually sat down and had a real conversation. But Greg Kemp is going to be joining me today. He is in the band Atwell in the Great Divide,
That's
and
true.
He's also a guitar player. He has an Instagram page, and he teaches people to play guitar. Greg, thanks for being on the page or on the show.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me.
So,
yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it.
Like I said, we grew up partying, and I was in your brother's grade, and I remember going to the farm,
Right.
and we would party, and you would be there, and you were just this kind of cool older guy who brought us beer. But other than that, man, we've never actually had like a human to human conversation. So this is my first one of these.
I don't think so, man.
Yeah, this is my first interview where I actually know very little about the person I'm interviewing. All I know is you're amazing at guitar, and I really enjoy your Instagram page.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
So yeah, man.
Just a lot of being antisocial.
You never seemed antisocial growing up.
A lot of time stuck in my bedroom playing guitar instead of hanging out with people.
So when did you start playing guitar?
I started seriously playing, I want to say probably like 7th grade, which I guess, how old are you in 7th grade? What, 12, 13?
Yeah, I was always the young kid.
So, somewhere in there. Yeah, so I think I got my first like real guitar that wasn't a toy right around then, and it was all like Nirvana for me back then, man. It was like I wanted to learn to play like Unplugged, all those songs. That was my only goal for guitar. If I could do that, I could stop, and I would be happy.
Yeah.
But
so what was your first guitar, man? What did you start on?
Man, it was just a very cheap like department store like Sears guitar. It was a little 3/4 size acoustic, and like the strings were probably about an inch away from the frets. So if nothing else, man, it was like learning to run with ankle weights. So whenever I got a good guitar, like it was much easier.
Okay.
So it was nothing to write home about.
And then when you started playing, how did you start? Did you have a teacher? Were you trying to read music, or was it all by ear? Because I've seen you and Brad both pick stuff up and just whip it out by ear. Oh, all right.
Yeah, it pretty much, man, it was all by ear for me. I didn't have a teacher, never took any lessons. I got some song books, I got, like I said, Nirvana. There was like a tablature book for that. So I would sit there and try my best to pick that stuff out. It was a very slow process. Like,
oh no, the internet is getting us again. I don't know if I lost Greg or if he lost me. We have a great frozen picture of Greg right now, though, so I'm enjoying this one. I'm going to blame this on him. Since I can't hear him and he can't defend himself, I am blaming this interruption on Greg's internet, not my internet. So, there you are. Hey, buddy, you're back.
It's very possible.
Yeah. I don't know how the internet is in wherever in Georgia you're at, but here in Missouri, internet we still have dial-up, Okay,
no,
so
I understand, man. We supposedly have very good internet here, but it rarely does it seem that way.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I heard you were saying, you got a couple song books, but it was mostly just by ear that you learned to play. Which people who play by ear blow my mind because I've played different instruments my whole life. I'm kind of a Renaissance man. I can dabble in every instrument just enough to make somebody go, "Oh, you play?" And then I say, "Not really." But playing by ear is just that's so incredible to me because I have to have sheet music or tabs in front of me. Someone can't just be like, "Yo, man, let's do G, D, B, E minor and just repeat that at this rhythm." I'm like, what? So more power to you for being able to do that.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks. Yeah, I think a lot of it was my mom is a pretty accomplished piano player, so we grew up listening to that stuff, our whole lives. So I think some of that carries over.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Being able to pick that stuff out, pick out a melody.
Yeah, and my mom's not an accomplished piano player. She was forced to take it so that way she could do other things she wanted to. So I grew up listening to her, and I grew up listening. My father played saxophone all by ear, and even to this day, I mean,
Oh wow, that's cool.
saxophone is the instrument I played the longest and the most, but I can't pick it up and play anything without the sheet music in front of me. I can't do it. My brain just, I don't want to say can't. I haven't figured out how to do it yet.
Right, yeah. I think everyone can. You just got to lock yourself into a room for, a month. But
Yeah. Well, I'm in a camper for a year. What better time? I got a bass guitar right here. I got a banjo in the back.
This is a perfect opportunity. You're going to come out, you're going to be Kenny G, man, when you're done.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out banjo, and one of the hardest things with banjo is a lot of that is just by ear and learning to change rhythms and rolls. So the banjo is really
Absolutely
some fussy times, which I remember very distinctly. A party at the farm. I walk in with the banjo that I just stolen from my cousin, and I have yet to give that banjo back. It's still with me, and I hand Brad the banjo. And I'm like, hey, man, I just got this banjo. Do you think you can do anything with it? And he's like, oh, I don't know. He's sitting on the couch, and he kind of plucks at it. And not even 5 minutes later, he's just like, I'm like, I hate you, Brad. So
I think that banjo, I distinctly remember a banjo being at the farm.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that met an untimely end during one of the parties. I want to say somebody stepped on it, but I cannot be sure of that.
Gotcha. Wild times at the farm.
Yeah.
Anyway, but we're not here to talk about the farm. We're here to talk about you. Yeah.
No.
So you started playing guitar in 7th grade. You enjoyed it enough that you kept playing. Let's just kind of fast forward. When did you try your first dabble with other musicians / making a band?
Man, it was probably a little later than a lot of people. I think a lot of it was I've always been a little bit of a perfectionist. Like if I can't do it really well, I tend to only want to do it when I'm the only one listening. So I basically, like I said, I locked myself into my room, and I got into Led Zeppelin. Jimi Hendrix was probably the biggest influence for me, which is really common. I mean, almost every guitar player can say that. And then guys like Stevie Ray Vaughan. And so I got into that stuff, and that's when I got more into playing lead guitar and some of the more complicated things. And I would sit there for hours just on repeat on this one particular song, just trying my best to pick it out. And eventually I got pretty good at it. I could pick out things by ear, and it was definitely a long road to get there, though.
Gotcha. And then, do you remember the name of your first band? What was that, and who was in it?
It was, I don't think anybody you would know. It was a band called Altered.
Gotcha.
And my brother had actually met the singer, and he wanted Brad to come and audition to be his guitarist. And it was totally like early 2000s radio bro rock, which is not my thing, but it was just like, and so it wasn't Brad's thing either. Brad's my brother, for those that don't know who I'm talking about. But he basically said, my brother's good. Let me send him to you. So I went and played with him.
Yeah.
They hired me. Never played a show. He supposedly had all these contacts, and we were going to get signed and all this stuff, but it was basically just playing kind of butt rock for for a few months before I realized that I'm not digging it.
Okay. Yeah, I get that totally. So you did butt rock with the boys for a little while, and then so yeah, let's just kind of, I'm going to give the mic over to you and just kind of walk me through the progression of butt rock with Butt Boys through different bands and how you ended up with Atwell and the Great Divide.
Sure, yeah, man. So right after I got out of the bro rock band, I started a cover band, like a bar band called Mother Truckers. And it was me. Yeah, I know you remember Mother Truckers.
I remember Mother Truckers. I still use that. I still scream Mother Trucker at people.
So yeah, it was myself, Brad, my brother, played bass. There's Miles Griffin. Pretty good for as drunk as he was most of the time.
Not just to cut you off, but I distinctly remember more than one show Brad getting blackout and just falling over on the stage and not doing anything else.
I've got a good story for that one too. Yeah, but
All right,
it was Miles Griffin also played with us. He sang, and we had a few other singers, Bob Brooks and Ryan Williams, and then Joey Robertson was our drummer.
Yep.
So basically, we just learned all these classic rock tunes, and we would just basically go party at a bar and get paid to play music. So it was did that for years, and that was actually pretty important as far as me developing as a guitarist, because you have to learn all these leads, all these different styles from these different players. Eventually, you soak it all up and you spit it back out, and it's kind of your take on all that, and you end up with a style before you know it. So yeah, I wouldn't trade that for anything. But yeah, Brad, I don't know if he's going to appreciate me telling this story or not. But,
well, it's up to you. If we need to text him real quick, it's fine. But I mean, it's up to you to share or not share.
He won't care. He's told it himself many times. But no, we were playing a ZZ Top song, and towards the end, I had a big lead part, and I launch into the lead, and all of a sudden, there's no bass guitar anymore. There's just like nothing happening. And I look over, and Brad is sitting on top of his bass amp with his back leaning on the wall, and he's dead asleep. And so I went over there, and I kick him in the leg, and he pops right back up and starts playing. So that was the only time I've ever had someone fall asleep on stage with me.
Yeah, and I mean, Brad definitely committed to the rock star life for a little while there. So
absolutely.
He was.
Yeah, I mean, he's super talented too. But
I know, it's so incredible. I love talking with him and listening to anything he ever does. So, all right, so you did Mother Truckers for a while.
Yeah.
And then.
Right. Yeah. So we did that for probably 3-4 years strong. Mm-hmm. Got really popular amongst the bars because we always drew a crowd. All of our friends would come and party. Yeah. So they sold a ton of alcohol when we played. So they wanted us there.
And was that that was mainly the Kennesaw area too, right? Like all the KSU kids.
Kennesaw, Marietta.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was basically right around where we lived at the time, Ackworth, Marietta, that area.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Kennesaw, Ackworth, Marietta is all in northern Georgia, about, what do you say, 45 miles north of Atlanta? Somewhere around there?
Yeah, right in that area.
45 miles north of Atlanta. Yeah.
Atlanta, that's right.
You can't say that anymore. My sister yelled at me. So.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
that's
so
funny.
So you did Mother Truckers, and did it fall apart, or was it like we're done with this?
No, I think it was one of those things. Like we all ended up kind of joining original bands. Brad and Joey and Miles started playing with a band called Red River Revival, which was kind of just like a heavy Southern metal type of band. It was great. And then I ended up playing in kind of this psychedelic style folk band type thing called the Peppermint Confederacy. And it sounds very, very strange. It was cool though. A lot of ambient guitar stuff, but with kind of folky acoustic guitar and vocals.
Is there any of that music out there on the internet that I can find?
Absolutely. If you just Google the Peppermint Confederacy, and just maybe tag music on the end of it, you can find that stuff. I don't know if it's on Bandcamp or what, but I found it somewhat recently.
I'm gonna have to listen to that in a little bit. Anyway,
I listened back to it and I was afraid I was gonna be like, oh God, when you look back at some of the stuff you've done, but I think it holds up all right.
All right. All right. So Peppermint Confederacy, psychedelic folk music.
Yes.
All right.
I played with my buddy Chris Fireball was in that band with me.
I remember.
You probably knew Chris.
I love Chris Fireball.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a great guy. He was in that band, a band Morris Eros. They were on Victory Records. Did the whole touring life for a while.
Yep.
But yeah, that was a fun one. And after that ended, and that just kind of ended after a year and a half. I don't remember exactly the circumstances as to why, but I met James Atwell. He came out to one of the Mother Truckers gigs, so that was still going on the side at the time. And he was looking for a lead guitarist in his band South City Riot. And so I guess he saw me playing. He liked the way I played. I went and played a few songs with him. They said, "All right, cool, join the band." And we were in that band for just years and years and years together.
Yeah.
And that's kind of just bluesy riff rock, you know, Southern rock influence, with a little bit of maybe like Soundgarden in there, that kind of thing. We're all
So
children
you guys,
of the 90s.
So was that Atwell and the Great Divide, or is that a different band at that point?
This was a different band. So this was, it was still James and I. And I mean, that went all the way up through, I don't remember exactly when it stopped, but somewhat recently, in the last 5 years. And then after that, that's when we started doing the Atwell and the Great Divide stuff.
Gotcha.
And that actually started with Brad, my brother, and James. They recorded a little 5-song, EP of just some of the stuff James had been writing on the side that was a little more acoustic based. It wasn't so like heavy and riffy. And so then I guess they decided they wanted to have some lead guitar in there as well. So
I lost you for a second. I heard they wanted to have a little bit of lead guitar in there, and that kind of broke up for a second.
Okay, you got me back now?
Yep, you're back now.
Yeah, so they were looking for, okay, perfect. So yeah, they were looking to add some lead, some lap steel, things like that. So yeah, I went and played with them, and we'd played together for so long anyway that it's very natural. I mean, it's my brother and James, who may as well be my brother. We played forever together. And so yeah, just kind of all fell into place. So we've been doing that ever since. Obviously, with a little hiatus here in 2020.
Yeah. Well, yeah, everybody had a hiatus in 2020. I haven't really worked in, well, we're not going to get into that. Anyways, so what style of music would you say Atwell and the Great Divide is?
So it's still blues based. It's rootsy, you know. It's I would say blues rock. I mean, I know that's such a catch-all term, but
yeah, I get it.
We're all heavily influenced by like the Allman Brothers.
Okay.
You know, Allman Brothers and just Little Feat and all these
Little Feat.
really
oh my
old,
gosh,
like,
I haven't thought of Little Feat in years.
Yeah.
Woo! My dad bought me a Little Feat
stuff,
CD
man. Lowell George, their guitar player.
Man, I'm gonna have to go find that CD.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, okay, so
it's good, man. Lowell George, their guitar player, slide master.
Yeah. So, what is it that drew you to the bluesy rock music? What is it that says, "Hey, this is what I want to play. This is the direction I want to go"? Is it what? Why?
Yeah. You know, I think a lot of it came more naturally. I don't know if it's because I was born in the South and you hear a lot of that stuff kind of comes from here, and I grew up around that kind of music. But it's really when I got into Jimi Hendrix. Was a huge one because, you know, he comes from the blues. He plays heavy psychedelic blues music is really what it was. And you know, he has an album that was released, you know, after he died. It's called just Blues, Jimi Hendrix Blues, and he plays some of these just great old blues tunes. And that kind of introduced me to some of these older blues guys that I had, you know, missed. I hadn't worked my way back. So, you know, from Hendrix, I went back to guys like Muddy Waters, and, you know, just the kind of the classic guys. And then further back from there, you know, you go to Robert Johnson and Charlie Patton, and just a lot of the stuff that emerged from the Mississippi Delta, early 1900s, late 1800s. It's just amazing music.
And I couldn't agree with you more. I love sitting down and just listening to good blues riffs and hanging out, being mellow to it. Have a campfire going with some blues playing. I'm with you, brother. I'll do that all night.
Dude, absolutely, man. So, yeah, there's just something to me that is so it's a personal style, like, because, you know, it's not a technical music. And so like all these blues guys sound unique. They sound like them. You know, when you hear Robert Johnson, you know it's him. You know, when you hear Muddy Waters, there's no mistaking it's Muddy Waters. You know, Son House sounds like Son House. So I think that's a big factor that attracted me to it too, is it's so individualistic. You can really express, you know, your own style through it.
Yeah, and so you're talking about your own style. So with Atwell and the Great Divide, my next question is, are you guys trying to do more of your own original music, or are you guys kind of more cover? Is it a mixture? Where are you at with that?
It's pretty much exclusively original stuff.
Okay.
And and occasionally we do a cover, but it'll be a very stylized cover. Like it'll be we're putting our spin on it. Like we do Death Letter, Sun House song.
Okay.
But it's it's not just one guy on a dobro like him. It's it's a full band arrangement, so it's a little more jumpy and it's fun. Kind of gives you some room to experiment.
And then, I kind of asked you, original versus cover. I have a very good friend of mine. He's actually the one who got me into doing podcasts. He has his own podcast, Dan Deegan at Zoobox. If you guys don't listen to Zoobox, go listen to Zoobox. There's your plug. Anyways, he's a guitar player and he's trying to make his own way. And he plays lots of bars. And he's a solo guitar player, so he's doing guitar and bass together at the same time. I didn't realize that was a thing because I'm that naive. But he absolutely refuses to play any covers at all. Everything he plays is original. And his belief is nobody ever made it big standing on the shoulders of giants. I've heard him say that several times.
Sure.
And I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm not saying anybody's wrong here because I don't want to be negative. But what's your opinion on, like, you guys play a lot of originals. Do you, like I said, not trying to start a fight. Dan, if you're listening, not trying to start a fight. I just like.
Oh, no.
Do you think it's okay to play covers, or do you think I understand his mindset, but what do you think as a musician out there playing? Like, if somebody really wants to hear a song, is it okay to rip out that song for that guy, or should you just be like, nah, bro, I'm playing my music only? When you're at the bar scene level.
Yeah. Bar scene, I mean, I see where he's coming from, and I know a lot of musicians that have that exact same mindset. They just they only want to play their music, which I totally respect that. I think that's just somebody's prerogative. That's their way of doing it. But as far as the standing on the shoulders of giants thing, I think regardless of whether you realize you're doing it, it's inevitable that you're gonna do that. It's gonna be somebody you heard that caused you to pick up the guitar, that caused you to learn a riff, that caused you to learn a song, and it may not be like you're playing their song, but indirectly they're responsible for it, and like Jimi Hendrix, Muddy Waters, Robert Johnson, it's all this big line of standing on people's shoulders to get.
You always have influences, is what you're saying. It's
sure.
I'm not playing him exactly, but I'm playing his style because I heard it one time and I liked it.
Yeah. But even subconsciously, like you may not realize it, but you internalize that and it's going to come out some way.
I can see that. That's a good viewpoint.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's just, and I'm not saying there are plenty of guys that probably have completely formed their own style, completely independent of anyone else. I guess if you've just completely isolated from any other music or didn't listen to a bunch of it, you kind of have to do that. But
yeah.
But as far as playing covers, I've always been open to it. I do like to add a personal touch to it when I do it. I don't ever try to really just nail it 100% exactly like the original.
Well, yeah, and that's part of being a musician, creative whatever rights or something like that.
Yeah, creative license, you can take it. And,
we got Under Pressure versus Ice Ice Baby. I get it.
Absolutely, exactly. There's one note difference there.
Just like that. No. There's this da 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 da. Mine's da 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 da. Yeah. It's.
That's right.
It's one note's different. Okay, so Atwell and the Great Divide. Where is this? Just you guys having fun, or is this like you guys want to take this and become big and start actually touring proper with it?
Yeah, I don't think we're really looking at this point to try to go out on tour or anything. Right now, the main focus we've got is we're going to.
No, we lost it again. Give it a second, everybody. I don't know if Greg can hear me, but I can hear me, so I'm going to keep talking until we can get this little glitch. For those of you who don't like it, fly to Missouri, become a resident, demand better internet, because this is what we're dealing with here. He may be laughing right now. By the way, I love his hat. I need to take a picture for Instagram when I do that. I'm only on my third beer for the episode, which is pretty good for me, all things considered. All right. So we lost internet.
Am I right side up now?
Yeah, you're right side up. So my editor, another friend who got me into podcasting, Bill Baker in the Woke and Bake podcast.
Cricket, though.
Bill, this is going to be a good challenge for you to figure out. We just lost Greg on video. There, he's back. All right. That got me so flustered, I forgot where the heck we were at.
Oh, that's all good, man. We were, I think we're still on Atwell and the Great Divide.
Yeah, and covering music, covers versus originals. You can see why people would do it.
Yeah.
Oh, where do you guys want to go? And you said you're not looking to tour right now.
That's right. Yeah. So James, he runs his own business. He does like fabrication, welding, all this really cool stuff. So, right now, obviously he can't up and leave and go on tour for 6 months. He's got this business that he's looking after. And so yeah, right now I would say we're more focused on recording a new album and getting that out there. And, not like we could tour in 2020 anyway. There's no live music out there anymore. So I think that's our focus at the moment, have fun with it and record some music, put it out, see if people like it, down the road, see what happens.
So you guys you're doing it just to have fun, hit the bar scenes, play with other musicians, and if you can get a little scratch in your pocket from having an album, so be it.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay. Absolutely, yeah. And most of the time, I'll be honest, you spend money when you make an album. You don't make money.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
You have. Is very rarely. I mean, musicians these days, the only way you really make money is by touring and selling merchandise and ticket sales, things like that, and that's gone right now. So
yeah,
a lot of musicians out there that are hurting.
My uncle's in a wedding band, or he owns a wedding band, and he plays bass with them. But they just started playing again, I think last month. And he was just bleeding out money owning this wedding band. And he's very thankful to be able to play weddings.
I bet.
So okay.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I didn't know anything about Atwell and the Great Divide. Do you guys have any albums out yet, or is that a future you guys problem? Or did I just lose internet again? Oh, come on, interwebs. No. Yes. All right. Let me back in. I see it's still recording. I'm sorry, people. When you live in an RV park and you're sharing internet with 5 campers, people in tents, and like 10 RVs, that's a lot of people. Oh, so it's just recording me right now. Let me see if I can get Greg. Oh, Greg's. Are we getting somewhere?
Let's look. I think I might.
All right, I can hear you again. That's a plus. Like I said, man, I'm sharing my internet with a whole bunch of people in an RV park. So, well, at least we can hear you. Yeah. Are you trying to? Do you have an album out yet?
Yes. There you go. I might be back.
There you are.
All right. Cool. Yeah. So we do have an album out. It's well, I would say an album. It's that little 5-song LP or EP that they recorded prior to me joining the band. So I'm not on that one.
Gotcha.
That was all done before they brought me in. So that's the big reason we want to get in there now, is to get the a real representation of what we sound like.
Okay.
So as a full band.
Do you guys? I know you said that Atwell's a really busy guy. Have you guys put a timeline on yourself to put out this album, or is it when it happens, it happens?
And now it's when it happens, it happens. We had a timeline somewhat laid out, and then the ceiling fell in. That is 2020. So
yeah,
obviously that's put a hold on things. So I mean, at this point, we're gonna do it when we can. Whenever it's plausible.
And just play shows here and there. Just have we can't even play shows right now.
Right. Yeah. When that's
Yeah.
available again, we will definitely be doing that.
Okay. So that's one of those things. Hey guys, Atwell and the Great Divide, whenever COVID's over, they will have an LP EP coming out. I don't know the difference, whatever.
That's right.
So be looking for that
That's
to
right.
drop sometime in 2027. Yeah, right.
God,
Or November, or after November 3rd, when everything goes away and it's back to status quo. But like I said, this is a positivity show. We're not going to go down that road. So the thing that kicked all of this off is your Instagram, which let me pull up the name real quick so that way I can say it right. It's what G_Kemp guitar. And
yeah,
I started seeing you. I don't remember when I started looking at this, but man, it's almost daily. You just put out something where you're just playing these little bluesy style licks. And that's what got me interested. And that's what got me thinking me and you should do this. What drove you to start putting all this on Instagram? Because you're just putting it out there, and whatever your feedback is.
Yeah, totally, man. It's the lack of being able to play live. Honestly, that's what got me started. Like I had to have some sort of outlet. Like I was, getting that itch. I wanted to play for people again. So it was just a good way for me to record a little minute-long clip of me playing something, put it out there, and see if people dig it. And thankfully, it's been a pretty positive response. People seem to like it. So, but yeah. I try to set a goal, one a day for myself.
And brother, I have not heard one yet that I don't like. And is it one of those things
thank you, man.
Like I said, you're just doing it just to play for others. I haven't looked at your followers. I haven't looked at comments or any of that. Are people sharing this and you're getting more people just kind of randomly following you? Because the only people I have randomly following me on my Instagram are sex bots.
I've got a fair share of those as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it seems like every day a few more people trickle in, start, they follow me, start commenting on the videos and stuff. So yeah, it's just been, it's more fun than anything. Just kind of get it out there and see what people think.
Yeah. Well, I like it. And like I said, it's what drove this whole conversation, which, like I said, got me to thinking. Me and you, man, we've known each other for probably 17 years and never had a real conversation, which is wild.
No, man.
Because
I think it was Ultimate Frisbee may have been the first time we met each other. We played.
Oh no, we lost it at Ultimate Frisbee. Well, if this comes back, I guess we're gonna start talking Ultimate Frisbee because I can't hear anything right now. I'm guessing it's about to kick me. For those of you who are listening, I'm sorry. This is the most times I've been kicked from an episode, which is it's good for the place that I'm living. Huzzah! All right. I think maybe it's a union thing. The internet just has to reset every 5 minutes. I have no idea.
It's a mandatory break.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Ultimate Frisbee is probably the first time we met.
I think so. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
And I had that shitty little crappy mohawk. And
you recall? I think I first met you with the name Shark. Is that right?
Yes, I was the shark. I was just thinking about that. I was the shark because, to my knowledge, I was the first person to throw and receive my own pass for a point. And I remember it very distinctly. Because I was thinking like basketball,
impressive.
You shoot the ball, you chase it in case you get a rebound. So I threw the Frisbee, and I just beelined after it. And I'm pretty sure, oh my God, my brain just farted out. He drove that 3000 GT. Daniel Kemp?
That was my buddy Daniel drove that.
Yeah, Daniel with a 3000 GT. Him and somebody else.
Daniel, yeah.
Yeah, they were going up to grab it, and I jumped in between them and snatched the B and caught my own point pass. And somebody was like, "It just looks like a fucking shark fin came through." So that's how I became the shark. Yeah, man. Ultimate Frisbee was wild times, and I still have 2 180 grain Supernovas. Did I just lose internet again? I may have just lost internet again. I don't know. And the problem is this. when I'm talking and it's like this, I don't know what's being recorded and what's not being recorded. So I think we may, if I get signal back, if I'm still being heard, if I can get, all right. I've had it with this internet nonsense. So this is gonna be my shortest episode ever.
That's all. Understand, man. Understandable.
All right. So yeah, you have a website to help teach people to play guitar. Go ahead and plug that real quick.
Yeah, well, honestly, it's just the Facebook page, Greg Kemp Guitar. So yeah, obviously, I do, before 2020, I taught lessons for years. At one point I had like 60 students go. I don't know that I would recommend that to any other guitar instructors out there. But yeah, if I can I've been doing a few Zoom lessons here and there. But it's kind of hit or miss as to whether that works for the student. Some people really need to see you in person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that and technical issues, or just the fact that, you're not sitting in the room with somebody and watching them do it. That's pretty big for some people, if they learn that way.
Yeah. Because I took banjo lessons for like a month before I moved up here, and I have to be sitting there with the guy watching. Okay, so
yeah.
G Kemp Guitars. We said Facebook, right?
Yeah, there's a Facebook page. The one thing I'm thinking about starting to do through my Instagram is do some kind of instructional stuff that instead of just me playing, maybe cover like a particular topic and talk a little bit about it.
Well, if you could teach me to use my freaking stuff. Yeah, if you could teach me to use my index finger as a capo, that would be phenomenal, because I had something.
Dude, man, that's everybody's first. That's the big one for people, man. Once you get past that, though, things kind of fall into place. It's training that finger, though, man, that's a hurdle.
I'll tell you what, I can play the hell out of Wagon Wheel.
Hell yeah, man. That's a good one to know.
But all right, yeah. I guess we kind of have internet, and I don't know if you're still recording when I get kicked out. If you can, just keep talking about it. What is the joy that you're getting from teaching people guitar? I mean, how much do you pull from that?
Honestly, I really enjoy it. I think I'm a music nerd anyway. So I went, I told you I never had lessons. Then in 2013, I started going to the Atlanta Institute of Music. And so I got basically the crash course and all the theory stuff. I kind of filled in a lot of the holes that I had missed by being a self-taught player. And so since then, I'm a music theory nerd. I love talking about it. I can just sit there and talk, scales and triads and harmony and stuff for hours.
Sure.
But so that's part of it. I just enjoy the subject. And it's just cool to see people progress, and know that you had a hand in it. See somebody, start from just nothing, and before you know it, they're playing the one song they wanted to play.
Okay. So, like I said, before my internet craps out, bro, it's been such a good conversation, and I hate to cut it short, Absolutely. But the internet is being a pain.
It's understandable, man.
Do you have a guitar handy at the moment?
I do. I'm in my guitar den back here.
Well, it looks like it. I just don't want to assume anything. Yeah, go ahead and give us like a 2-minute outro, and that'll kind of be the end of this one. We'll both say our goodbyes, and then we'll publish this as soon as we can.
Cool. Anything you want to hear?
Free bird! No, I don't. No, if you have an original lick, give me something original, and we'll just kind of put that out there into the universe.
Okay, cool. I'll just improvise over some chords or something. So.
love it, dude. There you go, guys. That's a little bit of an original, just licking from Greg Kemp from the Atwell and the Great Divide. Before we sign off, man, that made me think. I don't have an intro, so I'm going to have you write me a little intro, like a 15-second intro for my videos. That way I can have it.
Done, man.
Yeah, that way YouTube won't shut me down.
There you go. There you go, man. I'll do it. I'll be happy to.
Cool, man. Yeah, Greg, me and you, we'll talk for a minute after we stop recording. If you have any plugs, anybody you want to say thank you to, hi to, now is your time. Anything you want to pitch, this is your time to say anything you want.
Yeah, no, just go check out Atwell and the Great Divide. We've got our music out there. You can, like I said, you can find the South City Riot stuff too. Got a couple of albums that are still out there for, I think, free now. You can find them on Bandcamp and wherever you find music at. But yeah, other than that, man, like I said, teaching's a little bit on hold, and I don't have much else to plug at the moment.
Yeah, I get it, guys.
I'm living that stay-at-home dad life right now.
That's a heck of a life, isn't it?
It's not bad, man. I could get used to it.
Yeah, right. I got 4 more years, and then I'm a stay-at-home dad. So, all right,
there you
everybody.
Go,
Greg, thank you so much for doing this with me. You're my first one in like 2 weeks because life's been busy. Everybody, thank you for listening. This was Enter the Scottyverse with Greg Kemp from Atwell and the Great Divide. Stay tuned. We will have more episodes coming up soon. Greg, would you like the last word of the episode?
Thanks for having me, man. I had a great time.
All right, I'm going to take the last word anyways. All right, guys, have a good one.